Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephen Whitburn. I have the honor of representing Hillcrest on the City Council. It is great to be here today with Mayor Gloria, LGBTQ community icons Nicole Murray Ramirez and Susan Chester, longtime Hillcrest business leaders Ryan Bedrosian and Mo Gurton, and many of the most influential movers and shakers in the Hillcrest neighborhood that you see behind me. We are here today to celebrate the City Council's unanimous passage of the Hillcrest Focused Plan Amendment. It is a neighborhood vision that values truly affordable housing, supports local small businesses, and celebrates our LGBTQ community. The reason this plan has so much support is that the community was involved in shaping it over the course of several years at 24 public meetings and with over 1,700 public written comments. I want to thank the staff at the city's planning department under Mayor Gloria's leadership, who worked hand in hand with the Hillcrest community from the very beginning. Most importantly, I want to thank the hundreds of Hillcrest residents and business owners whose thoughtful input helped to create this visionary plan. Thank you to the Hillcrest Business Association, the Hillcrest Town Council, Vibrant Uptown, the YIMBY Dems, the LGBTQ Cultural District Working Group, and many others here today who helped us get here. I also want to acknowledge our San Diego Police Department. I constantly see them go the extra mile to keep Hillcrest safe, and their efforts on behalf of Hillcrest residents and businesses is truly appreciated. This plan for Hillcrest shows what we can achieve when we come together with a shared purpose and a commitment to making this neighborhood a better place for everyone. It is no secret that people love living in Hillcrest, love working in Hillcrest, and love visiting Hillcrest. And people are going to love Hillcrest even more in the years ahead. And now I'd like to introduce an icon of our city's LGBTQ plus community. Please welcome Nicole Murray Ramirez.
Thank you, Steve. As you can see, I don't like to call attention to myself. Good afternoon, buenos dias. While today is indeed a great day for our Hillcrest neighborhood and the LGBTQA plus community, it is very important to remember that the final success and passage of Plan Hillcrest in the LGBT cultural district did not happen overnight. This is about the history and decades of community welcoming the Hillcrest neighborhood, welcoming our community, our organization, bars, our events, accepting us in the 1960s and 70s when others would not. It started with our bars, nightclubs, moving into Hillcrest. Started with the Brass Rail and, yes, the Showbiz Supper Club in the 1960s, whose headliners were black entertainers that other clubs refused to hire, including 80-year-old Miss Norman, who still entertains us in Hillcrest. It started with our first pride marches and parades in Hillcrest in the 1970s. It started with the LGBT Community Center, moving into Hillcrest in 3 different locations in our neighborhood in its first decades. It started with Al Best becoming the first openly gay candidate to run for District 3 City Council and being fired for being gay. And Neil Good running for the 3rd District after Al, both no longer with us. Indeed, I've always said that a community, indeed a movement that doesn't know where it came from or whose shoulders it stands on, does not really know where it's going. The Hillcrest LGBT plus community we see today in the City Council's unanimous vote yesterday, it truly took a village. It took the many shoulders that we stand on today, many that are no longer with us. And we must never forget it took our straight heterosexual friends and allies like Joy Spears, Lou and Carol Arco, Warren Simon, John Hartley, Ron Roberts, Leon Williams, and yes, even former Mayor Roger Hitchcock, who appointed Susan Jester to his neighborhood Hillcrest Advisory Board, representing Hillcrest, the first such gay appointment. Mayors O'Connor, Goldine, Murphy, Sanders, Filner, Faulkner all played an important role in our community's visibility and empowerment. Chris Kehoe, who is a past executive director of the Hillcrest Business Association and our first council member elected from our community, followed by Tony Atkins, who even became acting mayor of San Diego. Bonnie Dumanis, who became the first lesbian to be elected district attorney in the United States. Don't ever forget that the empowerment of the LGBT community in San Diego came from Hillcrest and our votes and our money. And we must never forget the first phase and beginning of the focus of our community's history to become permanent like other communities started with the election of then City Councilman Todd Gloria and his Uptown Community Plan and his push for Hillcrest and LGBTQ participation. It was under Councilman Gloria that we finally got our historic rainbow flagpole. We cannot also forget the important role that then Councilman Chris Ward played in pushing for a Pride Promenade and getting us our Rainbow Walk that he and Mayor Faulkner dedicated. In fact, Assemblyman Ward's aide is here. Chris, be sure to give him our best and thank him for his contributions to making today happen. And yes, it was indeed the leadership and hard work of our Councilman Stephen Whitburn and his staff that brought us our unanimous vote yesterday. And speaking about staff, it is so important that we must acknowledge staff members who do so much work behind the scenes and are seemingly always forgotten. Dedicated workers like Brittany Bailey McClintosh, Tyler Renner, Molly Chase Weber, Chris Ackerman Alavia, Benny Cartwright, Logan Bradis, Jordan Latford, Heidi Bloom, and so many others. But we must never forget our own LGBTQ community members and leaders who helped build our visibility and contributions, like Chris Shaw, Darrell Edwards, Omar Lowry, Jess Jessup, Dolores Jacobs, Bill Beck, George Biaggi, Susan Jester, Big Mike Phillips, Stefan Chacon, Jason Frey, Kevin Sanders, Brian Jennings, Benny Cartwright, Rick Cervantes, Carla Koschow, Bridget Wilson, Joe Letkus, Frank Storetti, Ben Dillingham, Robert Gleason, Mo, Bob Lehman, Debbie Daniels, Matt Ramone, Chad Michaels, Craig Morgan, Nick Mead, Ryan of Riches. You know, you might go, why is he saying all these names? Because many of them aren't with us anymore. And I think it's important on this day that we remember many of these people. Like I said, so many others. In closing, I also want to acknowledge Mike Henson, who worked so hard on this project for many years. Hillcrest has always been our home, the foundation and the core of our LGBTQA community. We have come to Hillcrest for decades to celebrate, to protest, to mourn, to energize our movement for equality. Hillcrest was our home during the darkest early years of the AIDS epidemic. We raised hundreds of thousands of dollars here to help those living with AIDS, from Big Mike's and Nigel's Ordinary Miracles to countless drag shows, leather and bar events in Hillcrest, and the Blood Sisters. In fact, at number 1 Fifth Avenue in Hillcrest, the AIDS Assistance Fund was established. We celebrated marriage equality here. Yes, the passage of the Hillcrest LGBT Cultural District means Hillcrest will always be our safe place. Indeed, it will always be our home. Welcome home. And now I want to do a really quick thing. Would Ben Nichols come up here? This is the man that definitely deserves so much for his hard work and leadership for decades trying to get this established. So I have a special, Mayor, if you could hold this, please. I always tell him he's the mayor of almost all San Diego. It is my honor to make you a officially honorable member of the LGBT community. I want to see you explain this to your girlfriend. Thank you.
And now I would like to introduce another icon of San Diego's LGBTQ plus community. Please welcome Susan Jester.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susan Jester. I've been an LGBTQ activist for many decades and was the chair of the community task force that developed the recommendations included in this district. Nicole and I indeed do remember the old days. The days when a couple could be arrested for going out on a date. The days when we were told we wouldn't get a permit for our Pride Parade ever. We look on with horror that still today our young people are still afraid to go out at night because of intimidation and attacks. This is why the creation of this plan is so important. There have been amazing gains over the decades, but Hillcrest must remain a safe place. It must remain a tolerant and welcoming place. We cannot assume it will remain this way. This is why the LGBTQ cultural district is so important. And on a note, I too would like to thank Mayor Gloria. Without his leadership, this would have never happened. So thank you, Todd. You've created a role model for other cities now who want to do the same thing for create an LGBT cultural district. This can be a role model for across the country. So thank you and your staff so very much. On that note, I'd like to introduce a younger person. I'd like to introduce Ryan Bedrosian. He's an important community leader and the head of our business association, Ryan Bedrosian.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Bedrosian. I am the owner of Rich's Nightclub and president of the Hillcrest Business Association. What an incredible way to wrap up San Diego Pride Month with the official formation of the LGBTQ+ cultural district. As mentioned before, our nightlife venues have always been safe spaces for our community. This district is the first of its kind, with real protections for our entertainment and nightlife establishments, while welcoming all the new density and housing we desperately need. Some of the elements of this plan include new regulations that acknowledge that Hillcrest is and always has been an entertainment district. It also adds a clause in new leases and public signage to let our new neighbors know they are moving into an entertainment district. This plan also expands operating hours for outdoor restaurant patios. I'd like to thank the City Planning Department, who sat through many meetings with our community leaders and activists, listened to our ideas and concerns, and took the time to thoughtfully implement them into this plan. And of course, none of this would be possible without the support of Councilmember Whitburn and Mayor Gloria. There is no doubt this district will help our neighborhood not only thrive well into the future, but also ensure that Hillcrest remains a home for our LGBTQ+ community. I'd now like to introduce another leader whose voice was vital in forming this district, owner of Gossip Grill, Mo Gurton.
Thank you, Ryan. Hello, welcome everyone. My name's Mo Gurton. I'm the owner of the only women's bar in San Diego and the only women's nightclub in California, Gossip Grill. I also own Barrel and Board as well. Ryan, I basically said exactly what I was going to say, and I want to really jump on that. First off, I want to thank the city council members. Thank you, Stephen Whitburn. Thank you, Todd Gloria. Without you, this would not be possible. Thank you to everyone behind me that worked so hard on this project. It's vital that we protect queer spaces. We are extremely fortunate enough to have a women's bar here, and I wish there was one in every city, but unfortunately there's only like 30 left in the United States right now. So we need protection for that. And with all the growth that needs to happen with that, is going to become some obstacles, and the Hillcrest, the LGBTQ cultural district, will help protect us against that and help protect our vital queer spaces. So I just want to thank everyone. I'm excited about this, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in our future. Thank you so much for your time. Do I introduce anyone else? Oh, sorry, Todd.
Thank you. Mo, thank you for that, those comments and for that enthusiasm. It really is a good day, and that's why we wanted to invite everyone here. Commonly, you can sign these things in my office and just get on to the next thing, but this is absolutely worthy of pause and of celebration. This is really a momentous day, not just for Hillcrest, but for our entire city. And there's a lot of people who help make this possible. And so I'll ask you to indulge me for a few moments. Before I do, though, I want to note we have a number of representatives from the San Diego Police Department who are here. I appreciate having them here in general, but I want to acknowledge that we just had Pride here in San Diego. That event went off without a hitch. It was extremely safe. People had a fantastic time, and that didn't just happen. That's the result of having wonderful community police relations, of which these folks who are here today do every single day of the year. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for everyone who is here. take this opportunity to do that. So in addition to our police officers, I want to thank, first off, that we're here at Riches, one of the most iconic LGBTQ plus businesses that's right in the center of our LGBTQ plus community. I want to thank its owner, Ryan Bedrosian, who you've heard from a moment ago, and thank him specifically for hosting us, as well as his service as the president of the Hillcrest Business Association, and for always stepping up to serve our community events like this and countless throughout the year. A huge thank you to Councilmember Stephen Whitburn, the best partner America could possibly hope to have when it comes to tackling the most urgent issues in our city, that is homelessness and housing affordability. Stephen's work on the council is legendary, and it is delivering for his constituents. Stephen, thank you for your great work on this. A now honorary gay, Ben Nichols, from the Hillcrest Business Association. Thank you so much for all that you do to help galvanize small businesses to create a plan that will support business and jobs and economic vitality in one of our oldest neighborhoods of our city. These things don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can see growth, you can see economic vitality, you can see improved quality of life. Ben knows that, the HBA knows that, and I appreciate your leadership. To Ryan, to Mo, to Susan, to Nicole, all of our speakers, real star power here in Hillcrest, who got early involved in this process to make sure that we could deliver a plan that was worthy of a unanimous vote of the City Council. All of them were critical in making sure that this plan that we approved had its roots in the community. And finally, I want to thank members of the city staff. You know, as mayor, I get to lead a 12,000 person organization of true public servants who get up every single day to serve this city and to leave it better than they found it. This crew certainly has done that with the Plan Hillcrest initiative. Heidi Von Blum, our city planner and the head of our city planning department, Tate Galloway, Kobe Tomlins, Shannon Core have made up the core team that went through the fine details. And if you see these documents, they're about yay thick, right? And they get to write it. And I'm grateful that you all would put in that attention to detail to make sure that we got it right. Hillcrest is a very special place, and we want to make sure that what we do here helps make it better. Their hard work and attention to detail makes that something you can take to the bank. I also want to acknowledge Chris Ackerman Avila, who is my land use policy advisor in my office. Chris is doing incredible work, and I'm just so darn lucky to have him on my team. Chris, I'm super proud of you. Thank you for your good work on this. Yeah. So as has been mentioned, we're doing this on the last day of Pride in San Diego. We have a Pride Month. We do it in July. There are reasons folks around here can explain. But this is really about making sure that there's a new era for Hillcrest ahead, one where there's vibrancy and history and culture, and it all can be celebrated, not just at Pride, but all year long. This updated Hillcrest plan is a testament to our city's commitment to inclusivity, to progress, and to community. Now, you've heard it reported multiple times, and it's true. This new plan will add capacity for over 17,000 new homes for San Diegans right here in this community. I want you to think of healthcare professionals that are working just down the street at UC San Diego Health or at Scripps Mercy Hospital actually being able to live in the same neighborhood where they work. Think about people who are allowing us to, this plan will help us pave ways for public spaces to be included in new development so that the gatherings that happen here naturally in Hillcrest can just get better and better and better. It envisions wide pedestrian promenades along University Avenue and Robinson Avenue, creating more walkability, safety, and vibrancy. It establishes, as you've heard, the first of its kind LGBTQ plus cultural district that spans from Normal Street along University Avenue and down Fifth Avenue, which will cement the identity of this neighborhood forever and always as the center of San Diego's LGBTQ plus community. It also creates a commercial and entertainment district to reinvigorate the small businesses and nightlife that make Hillcrest so very, very special. The objective here is to strengthen the entertainment sector here in Hillcrest and set the scene for more good jobs in restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. I want to put this in some connected to a few other things. Many of you know that we have a very vibrant and successful Little Italy. Now, I'm not sure what the Italian population is in Little Italy these days, but everyone knows that that is where the Italian community first arrived in San Diego. And that neighborhood is better because of that cultural identification. As the first API person to serve as mayor of this city, I'm proud that we have an Asian thematic district in downtown San Diego, recognizing the contributions of Asian Americans to our city at the start of the 20th century. We are working currently with Council District 4 on an African American arts and culture district in southeastern San Diego, recognizing that is the historic home of our Black community, and it should always be acknowledged as such. We're doing this in multiple places, and today is just another step in that direction, and again, honoring our LGBTQ plus community that has done so much to make San Diego America's finest city. Finally, I want to say in closing that when I took over as mayor, I vowed to create a culture of yes at City Hall and do whatever I could to inject some big city energy into this city so that we can be the world-class city that I know that we are destined to be. The plan that we're updating today is reflective of those priorities. It is an amazing honor to be here, surrounded by all of you as we sign this new ordinance into law. It is a long time coming. I remember starting the community charrettes for this, I believe in 2009. It's longer than I would care for, but as all of you know, I'm extremely tenacious and I don't ever give up. And so it may have taken a while, but we are now here. And I will tell you that my hope and message today to every San Diegan is that we will support you. We want you here. We're a welcoming community. And that isn't just at Pride Weekend when we want to welcome and say everyone is here to be them for themselves, but it's all year long where we'll say, not only do we celebrate you and we want you here, but we will make space for you here. And we'll create a community that you can be proud of and that will have the kind of vibrancies that will keep you here long term. So we've been waiting on this for too long. Let me conclude by saying, without further delay, let's sign this into law and let's start a new, vibrant, exciting chapter for the great community of Hillcrest and for all of San Diego. Thank you all for being here today. Sign, and we're done.